In conclusion, why should one waste his time for so-called economic development, which is neither permanent nor pleasing to the soul? On the other hand, our relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is eternal. Nityam Siddha Krishna Prema. The pure souls are eternally in love with Krishna. And this permanent love, either as a friend, a servant, a parent, or a conjugal lover, is not at all difficult to revive. Not at all difficult. Easy. Prabhupada likes to encourage us always. Especially in this age, the concession is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, one revives his original relationship with God and thus becomes so happy that he does not want anything material. As enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagat isha kamaye. A very advanced devotee in Krishna consciousness does not want riches, followers, or possessions. Raya kalatram pashava sutadayo griham mahi kunjara kosha bhutaya. The dissatisfaction of possessing material opulences, although perhaps of a different standard, is available even in the lives of dogs and hogs who cannot revive their eternal relationship with Krishna. In human life, however, our eternal dormant relationship with Krishna is possible to revive. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj has described this life as Artadham. Consequently, instead of wasting our time for economic development, which cannot give us happiness, if we simply try to revive our eternal relationship with Krishna, we will properly utilize our lives. Okay? Understood? Realized? Has to be realized. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyanam Janam Salakaya Chaksurumiritam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparam Tigam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goradvishe Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Mukam Karuti Vacharam Pangom Rangeti Girim Yat Kripam Tamam Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. So this is Prahlad Maharaj speaking to us. Prahlad is one of the 12 Mahajans, great spiritual authorities, although he only had 5 years old at this time. So this is a 5-year-old boy speaking to us, which is very uncommon and a very beautiful aspect of the Bhagavatam also. So many children are in this book teaching such a pure philosophy, no? We have Chatur Kumara, Sanak, Sanatan, Sananda. They're also quite young, 4 or 5 years old. Prahlad Maharaj is 5 years old. Dhruva Maharaj is like same age, no? So we have a lot of teaching of young boys in this book. What very special young boys. Very special young boys, which means that, as we say in France, wisdom doesn't wait for the number of years. You don't need to become an old man to be wise. You can be wise even though you are quite young. It's a question of understanding. So, Prahlad Maharaj is he speaking to Hiranyaksha?
His classmates.
Or to his classmates? Okay. So this is a young boy who is in the classroom after the class is finished or during the break time.
Recess.
Huh?
Recess. I don't know what they call it in France. Recess.
Recess?
Break time. Break time.
Recess, okay. In French we say récréation. So, but they decided that not to go for playing outside in football or whatever they can play. And because they have a special friend in their classroom. And that friend is very attractive. Because Prahlad Maharaj was very beautiful, very sweet, very wise. So they all became very much fond of this special boy that was in their class. And during the recesses, they would not go out, they would just stay with him, and he would tell them a beautiful philosophy that he had heard when he was a baby in the womb of his mother. Quite uncommon, no? When he was a baby in the womb of his mother, because baby, they can hear whatever is happening outside. He was quite aware. Although as a simple baby, he could hear, and her mother, his mother, was sheltered by a great sage. Because what? Because she was kidnapped, no? She was kidnapped and brought very, very far from their home. And a great sage, Narada Muni, decided that he will teach to this woman the spiritual knowledge. But he was not really aiming at teaching that woman, because he knew that he could understand that she will not understand really what I have to teach her, but he knew that inside her womb is a very special child. So I'm going to teach her, and the child will hear also. For how long did he taught? Huh?
16 years?
No, that's Shukadev Goswami. I don't know for how long, but Prahlad, a small baby, was listening to Narada Muni through from the womb of his mother, like this, carefully listening. He was already studying from the womb. So when he took birth, he was quite learned already, Prahlad. And then he explained to his classmates, what is the use of all this accumulation in this world? Everybody is crazy after gathering more and more things, no? And this is like a long list. Money, a woman, sons and daughter, house, domestic animals, elephants, treasure. People are struggling and working hard day and night in order to accumulate more and more of these things, no? Nowadays the entire world is just running after this. We don't have so much sages anymore, no? Everybody is just running. But Prahlad Maharaj saying, all these things are temporary and flickering. Flickering, that means they don't stand very strongly. You know, like these towers. Every time I am in New York, I'm looking these towers and I'm thinking, how they stand. This is like matches, you know, how they can stand. When I see this, because the new model now is like the thinner and the higher possible. Now they're making the biggest tower in New York, bigger than the previous biggest, which was in Chicago, the Sears Tower. Now they're beating the record in New York. So thin, so high like this. There is only one thing obvious when you see such a building, that it will crash soon. That's completely obvious because it cannot last long like this. And when such tower will crash, that will be a big mess, I can tell you. And they already experienced, no? A few years ago, that was what? Yeah, it's 9/11 crash happened. Which year? 2001. 2001. They already experienced that 2 towers crashed. Still, they want to make more. So every year they're making more and more. But they cannot understand. It's evident that all these towers, they will crash one by one. What will happen when they will crash? Just imagine if the earth starts to shake a little bit in New York, that's finished. The city is finished. So this is called a chala. Chala means flickering. It doesn't stand very well, and temporary. Even if it would stand, anyway, there is also the time. And the water and the wind destroys everything. So what is the use of trying to get these things when they are temporary? For the person who has understood that he is eternal. When we understand we are eternal, normally the reaction is that we should become, how we call this? We should lose all our interest for temporary things. No? How much interest we place in a flower? Not so much. We may appreciate a flower when we get it, but we know tomorrow, even tonight, that this flower will have lost all its value, no? So we don't attach ourselves too much to a flower, because we know this flower is temporary. So, but why do we attach ourselves to so much other temporary things? This is the illusion of this world. So many big empires, Prabhupada explained, have tried since time immemorial. So many empires, and they all failed. No empire has ever succeeded to survive. But, and that's the main point, there is something which is eternal and which is valuable for everybody. This is what we are supposed to inquire from. Yasoda wrote, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that you have attained this form of life, where you can understand that you are eternal, you should try to understand what is eternal, not what is temporary. Because your life also is, your life in this body is also temporary. So you have short time to figure out how to become successful. It's like this kind of game they do nowadays, they like in the TV, They give you like 2 hours and you have some challenge, some special challenge to do. You have this kind of TV show? Or they make this movie, I saw the poster. 24 hours to survive, something like that. That's the story of somebody here that is only 24 hours more in his life. But our life is quite short like this. And we have a very short time to figure out how can I get out of this difficult situation. What is the difficult situation? Janma. What is this? Janma, Mritu, Jara, Vyadi. Janma, Mritu, Jara, Vyadi. Birth, death, old age, and disease. How to escape this? Very interesting. And Prabhupada say, even though they have made so much so-called material advancement, the advancement on becoming free from birth, death, old age, and disease is zero. We are still on the same level, no? Exactly on the same level. People think we live longer now. They convince themselves that modern man, they live longer at least. We have not done this for nothing. Because they don't know, but if you study more closely, you will find out that modern man, they live shorter. They live shorter than before. Much, much shorter life. So our life is so short. We have to understand what is valuable, what is eternal. Nityo, Siddha, Krishna, Prema, Sadhya, Kabunai. So Prabhupada explained to us that there is something eternal, and this is very beautiful at the same time. And we can attain it also. It's not some dream, it's something that we can attain. And actually it's quite easy to attain it because it's already there inside our heart. So, in one sense, we already have it. We're just not aware that we have it. We just don't realize. It's only required that we understand there is this treasure in my heart, and we develop the desire, okay, how to awaken, how to revive this treasure. If we do this, then we have all the advantage in our hands, because that treasure also wants ourselves to realize it, or to realize him. So we will receive all help also. The only problem is that we have been diverted from that reality. We don't know what we can attain. Modern man has lost the complete knowledge of what we can attain, no? And they envision life in such a poor way. Such a poor way. You work hard all your life and then you retire. And you will have few years with some little money to try to rejoice. But that will not work. That will not work because at this time all your friends will gradually die 1 year after another, no? And diseases will increase in your body 1 year after another, no? So many problems will come at this time. And probably you also won't get the money that you're supposed to get. So that will not work. This is some cheating, you know. Better to strive from where we are for what is important. So this is what the great sages, they come to remember us. That we have a treasure in our heart and it has to be revived. This treasure is called Krishna Prema. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai. Krishna Prema means pure love for Krishna. That capacity to love is there within the heart of everybody. But it is torment. It is covered, no? That's why we don't feel so much love in our life, because it's covered. Although this is our real nature. Normally we should only love. And that's what a pure devotee or a liberated soul is. He is living only in love. And that love is not limited, it's unlimited love. Krishna Prema. Sadhya Kabunai. There is no need to search this somewhere else. It is already there in our heart. We only need to find out the way to revive it. And this way is Shravanali Sudachite. Sudachite means with a sincere heart. Sudha means pure. With a sincere, purity means sincerity. That much we can be pure. How to say? This is, I don't know how to make the sentence. We can be pure by being sincere on our level, you know. We may not be completely pure, but the maximum purity we can have is by being sincere. And when we are sincere, we become on the purest level that we can be right now. And from that, by remaining sincere, we'll become more and more pure. Sincerity is very powerful capacity in our heart. It is the beginning, actually, of success, sincerity. So, that's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, Shravanali Sudha Chite, with a pure heart, one has to listen about Krishna. One has to listen about that reality, about that pure love, Krishna Prema, about Krishna, about that pure love for Krishna, about the service of Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, for everybody, all the eternal souls, they have a three treasure. The three treasures of the jiva. You know them? No. That could also be a good answer, but that's not what he said. Or maybe he said the same thing in another context. That's also possible. Sometimes the Vaishnavas, they do this. I don't remember it. He said the three treasures of the living entity, they are Krishna, Krishna Prema, and Krishna Bhakti. Yeah, we could say. Seen from another angle. So we have to hear about this, Shravanali, with sincere heart, Sudachite. And then what will happen? Karaye Udaya. That will, Udaya means awakening. That will awaken that original love which is lying dormant in our heart, just by listening. Or, because he says Shravan Adi, listening and singing, serving practically, and engaging our life in the service of Krishna. So, Prabhupada writes here, the pure souls are eternally in love with Krishna. Quite particular from Prabhupada. I never read that sentence. I didn't remember that. The pure love are eternally in love with Krishna. And this permanent love is not at all difficult to revive. It's very easy. It's natural because this is who we are. So our entire being will feel happy to go in that direction. When we go in the direction of what we have to be, then it becomes easy, no? When we go in the direction opposite to what we have to be, then it becomes hard. It's so hard and it doesn't work because we can't be that. So we're suffering because we're struggling, and we're suffering because we can't attain the result. Nobody will ever attain the result of being happy in this material world because we are not meant for that. It's like a man who is trying to push a wall. No? It's hard. It's so hard to push a wall, and then he will never succeed to push that wall. He's just losing his time. No? If you see somebody trying to push a wall, what do you think? Yeah, this man is crazy. He's just losing his time. No? If you are compassionate, you will say, Sir, there is no need to try to push this world. You're just losing your time. Better you just make a 180 turn on your heels and try to walk in another direction. But crazy man is crazy. He will tell you, no, I will succeed. Let me do. What do you know? No? Go back where you come from. And continuing to push the wall. So when you push the wall, you may think you'll make it because your feet, they're slipping on the ground, you know? And you may think, yes, I'm going forward. This is the illusion of we're smiling, but that's the reality of this world. No? Everybody is thinking, yes, I'll make it. I'll make it. So they're thinking they're pushing the wall, but actually this is just their feet slipping on the floor. And they're not moving from 1 inch, because you cannot go 1 inch in that direction, because you're not meant to be that. You're meant to develop love for Krishna. So once you realize and you say, and you turn on your heels, and you try to make the same effort you were making before, you will make great steps, no? So, Prabhupada said this is not at all difficult, especially in this age. There is a special concession, which is that simply by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna Mantra, this eternal, original relationship with God is revived, and one becomes so happy. Prabhupada said, one becomes so happy that he doesn't want anything else material in this world. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim, Kavitam Va. I don't want money and wealth and any. I don't need. Najanam, I don't want fame or so many people, glorifying me or following me. I don't need. Nasundarim, I don't need to have beautiful women, so many beautiful women, or beautiful man, if we are women. I don't need these things. Kavitam Va, and whatever other things that this world can describe. I don't need that. Because I understand there is no value in these things, no? This is a verse we chant every morning. We have to meditate more on this verse. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim. That means there is no value into this. So why to strive for something which has no value? No? This is like pushing the wall. Trying, I will get something with this. Or Prabhupada used to say, running after a mirage. You are in the desert. Have you ever been in the desert? You have seen a mirage?
Sometimes you can see when you're driving on the road every day.
Yeah, it makes the same things.
You see?
Yeah? Mirage. In the desert we see this water there, far, it really looks like water. It really looks like a pond or some river. But the more you advance, the more you go forward, actually it's always also going forward. Because there is no water. So the material world is the same thing. You think there is happiness, and everybody thinks, oh yes, there is happiness there. Let's go there. But nobody ever reached this happiness. What they experience is birth, death, old age, and disease. No? That daily we experience pain and suffering. And sometimes some kind of happiness, but it's very flickering and it's not very deep also. No? We don't collapse of happiness very often. Maybe the corner of our mouth just do a little bit like this, that's it. No? That happiness, which Prahlad Maharaj is explaining, you will collapse of it. It's such an unlimited happiness that he himself would collapse, you know. Prahlad Maharaj, he would collapse often because he was experiencing such happiness in his heart that often Prahlad Maharaj would just fall down, little boy, and just fall unconscious because too much happiness. His name means who is experiencing unlimited happiness. Prahalada. Halada means Hladini. Shakti means the unlimited happiness of love for Krishna. He had awakened in his heart that unlimited love, even though he had only 5 years old. He had awakened it, and he would live in that love always, 24 hours a day, no? It is said, so much so that he completely forgot about eating, about sleeping, he forgot about everything. That doesn't mean he was not doing it, he was doing it mechanically, but his mind was not there. He was always absorbed in thinking about Krishna. Sarvayamana Krishna Padara Vindaya. Because when you think about Krishna, you revive that love and you can experience that love. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching to his schoolmates. Just by chanting this mantra. This is not a small mantra, this is very powerful mantra. So powerful it is called Maha Mantra. The only thing is that this power is very secret. But it is very, very, very powerful because with that mantra, Maha Mantra, you can enter into the, how would we say this? You can enter into the most secret place that exists. Just with this mantra. That secret place is the heart of Krishna. This mantra gives you entrance into the heart of Krishna. Very special, no? Very, very special. And when we enter in contact with the heart of God, because, you know, the Vaishnavas, they don't give us access only to God or to an external experience of God, but they give us access to understand who is God. And understanding who is a person means understanding the heart of that person, no? Because you may know somebody, like, you know this person, yes, I know him or I know her, but this is more like acquaintance. I've seen that person, or maybe I see regularly that person, but what do I know about that person? I know he has long hair, or he's black, or he's white, or he had blue eyes, no? This I know, I can describe. But do I know what this person thinks? feel, will. So I don't know very much this person. If I can know what this person think, feel, and will, then I know better a person, isn't it? Then we can say, yes, this person I know very well. Like my mother, when I was young, she would always tell me this: I know you better than if I had met you. You have this in English also? In France, my mother, she would always tell me this. Every time I would do something, she would tell me, yes, I know you better than if I had met you. And I didn't like that when she would tell me that. Because I didn't know to think that my mother, she knows me better than, small boys, they don't like. They want to be independent. But she would always tell me this, because this is real knowledge. She could understand what I like, and that was true. She could understand what I was thinking, what I was reading, because she was with me so often. So this is understanding. In the same way we can understand God. In the same way like we understand our best friend, in the same way we can understand God. Suridam Sarva Dihinam. Because he is actually our best friend. This is what he said to Arjuna, no? I am the best friend of everyone. If he is the best friend of everyone, that means he can be known as much as we know our best friend, isn't it? Otherwise, why he would say this? If Krishna said, I am your best friend, but it's not possible to know him as much as we know our best friend, then this would be only words. It's not possible, because one of the 64 qualities of Krishna is whatever he says is true. Always. So when Krishna says, I am your best friend, that means also you can know me and understand me as much and even more than any friend you have. That's interesting, no? Because what? Why can we understand our best friend deeply? Why can we understand this person? Sharing. Because this person reveals his heart or her heart to us, no? Then we can understand him or her. We reveal our heart and he is revealing his heart. This is called friendship. No, the Vaishnava, they do the same thing. How we call this? Tadati pratigrinati. Somebody knows this verse? Yeah. Revealing your mind in confidence. I was searching the Sanskrit for this. Guyam Atiti. I cannot hear. Akyati, yes, that's right. Now I remember it, because I could not hear properly. Please forgive me. I was thinking, wow, I forgot it so much that I cannot even recognize when it's there. Guyam Akyati Prichati. Now I remember. Guyam Akyati Prichati, that means revealing your heart and listening when another is revealing his heart to you. That's friendship. And that friendship we have to apply with spiritually inclined person. Or this is one of the way to develop love for the Vaishnavas. Very important, this Upadeshamrita. Very, very important. Because Upadeshamrita means Rupa Goswami is giving us 11 verses. In this 11 verse is the method how to reach the topmost goal that he is describing in the last verse. That topmost goal he is describing in the last verse is attaining what we call Radha Kund. And in all the previous verse he is giving the way that we can attain that. That's a very important thing. I will not go further on this now, maybe another time. But Guhyam Akyati Prichati. This is how we establish loving relationship with someone. We speak from our heart to this person and we listen this person. No? This is called friendship. So the same thing, if Krishna says he is our best friend, that means we can apply the same principle. Guhyam Akyati Prichati with God also. Isn't it? Otherwise he would not be our best friend. And by applying this principle with Krishna, then we can understand Krishna even better than we can understand our best friend in this world. And that's amazing to think that we can understand the heart of Krishna, because he will reveal it to us. Already in the Bhāgavatam, Krishna is revealing quite a lot, his heart. A lot. And then in the sound of his name, he will reveal more. What he cannot say with words, he will say inside the sound of his name when we're chanting. When in the Bhāgavatam, the heart of Krishna is revealed, but it's hidden. Like the soul in the body, it's hidden, no? That's the most important thing inside the body, but it's invisible. The soul, no? In the body. It's invisible. You can only perceive it by its symptoms, consciousness. Because consciousness can be perceived in the entire body, you know there is the soul in that body. So the same way, in the entire Bhāgavatam, there is also consciousness of the heart of Krishna. Because the entire Bhāgavatam is aiming at making or giving us access to the heart of Krishna. Because this is the will of Krishna. Krishna is our best friend and he wants us to understand his heart. He already knows our heart. But he wants us to understand his heart. Because he unfortunately realized that we don't really understand his heart. And that's why we're suffering. Because we don't understand Krishna's heart. But as soon as somebody understands the heart of Krishna, there cannot be more suffering. Even though we may not be completely realized. Because just the understanding of this is giving such a joyful prospect in life that you cannot be unhappy. Because you know what just by chanting the name of Krishna and hearing about Krishna you can acquire. And Krishna is willing to share that. So he appeared in the form of the Bhāgavatam in order to reveal himself completely to us, no? As we say, from head to toe, or from toe to top knot. From his toes to his top knot, Krishna in the 12th canto of the Bhāgavatam, he has appeared to reveal himself completely, no? This is what it means, that the 12th canto of the Bhāgavatam, they represent Krishna's body. That means Krishna is appearing in that form to make himself fully available to us. If the Bhāgavatam is Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna Tulya Bhāgavatam, if the Bhāgavatam is Krishna, and we have the Bhāgavatam, that means Krishna gave himself to us, isn't it? Or otherwise the Bhāgavatam is not Krishna. But it is Krishna, fully. It's not partially Krishna. The Bhāgavatam is Tulya. Tulya means there is no difference between the Bhāgavatam and between Krishna. That means everything which is Krishna should be inside the Bhāgavatam, isn't it? You have this faith that the Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And you have this Bhagavatam. That means Krishna already gave himself to you, isn't it? It's just about accepting his gift. So everything is there. Oh, we have to find out. Of course, the Bhagavatam is beautiful from the first syllable to the last syllable. It's beautiful. Like Krishna's body is beautiful from his 2 nails to his peacock feather. No? He's beautiful from 2 nails to peacock feather. Going through his hands and all the beauty of his body. Yet, what is the greatest beauty in Krishna? His smile, his heart. I think she will. No? We don't need to go further. What's most beautiful, this is his heart. Because Krishna has 3 levels of beauty. The first level of his beauty is his body, his appearance. The second level of his beauty is his speech. So the Vaishnavas say. The way he is speaking, very beautiful. It touched the heart, really. And it's so poetic, so beautiful. And the third level of Krishna's beauty is his heart. What Krishna feels, how he is. That's very beautiful. And that's so beautiful that actually Krishna is hiding that aspect inside his heart. Like we ourselves, our real beauty, who we are really, that we're hiding from others, isn't it? Yes, everybody of you know, because what is our most precious thing, our most, deeper feeling, deeper aspect in our life that we're keeping hidden. Only to very special friends we can reveal, no? Sometimes not even. So Krishna also in the same way. At the same time, he's giving us completely, giving himself completely to us. At the same time, he's also hiding himself. How is that so? That means he's hiding himself, but he's giving us some keys by which we can find out the path to the treasure. You know, like this map, there is map, and you know, this treasure is here. When I was young, when I was a small boy, I would always dream that one day I will find a treasure. That was my dream. I was sure one day I will find a treasure. And I did find a treasure, much more bigger than what I was expecting. I don't know why I had this belief in my heart. Like Sachinandan Maharaj, he said, during his entire childhood, he was convinced once he will meet an angel. He was completely convinced about that. So he was already making plans since he was a very young boy, what I will ask to this angel when I will see him. Because he knew that will happen one day. So he was preparing for that. And he met Prabhupada. And then he realized, wow, I indeed met an angel. So it's like that. Life is more beautiful than what we can expect. If we have a very beautiful hope in life, that will be fulfilled. Don't have a meager hope. We have the right to have the most beautiful hope. And better we do, because only like that it can be fulfilled. And if we don't have very beautiful hope, there is no chance that this will be attained, no? So we must develop the most beautiful hope we can. We must do some kind of, how we call this, to refine the gold, no? We must do a process to find out what is the most beautiful thing that I can hope. That's an introspection. And we have to desire this. Even though it may look completely irrelevant, no? Narottam Das Thakur wrote, I am like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon. That's irrelevant, no? Still, he said, I cannot stop hoping that I will catch it. Because that means this is some metaphor to say that actually he has inside his heart a desire which is so beautiful that he is even ashamed about thinking about it, because he's thinking, how is it possible that I can attain that? That's not possible. But he says, still, I cannot do something else but to hope that maybe, why not? What if? Prabhupada came also to America thinking this. And what if it will work? No, let me try. That was his mood when he came. He said this one. He said, he was not attached, but he said, okay, let me try at least. What if? Prabhupada had a beautiful hope. Prabhupada had the hope that he could spread this message of love everywhere in the world. He had that hope. So Krishna fulfilled his hope. So we have to develop very beautiful hope. And like this, Krishna will guide us gradually. Because Krishna is our best friend. If our best friend is the cause of all causes, and that person who knows everything and who can make everything impossible possible, because this agata, this is one capacity of Krishna, that everything impossible, he can make it possible. So even though it's impossible for us to attain the most beautiful thing we can conceive, for Krishna it's easy. It doesn't require even any effort. Agata means that you can never attain. Agata means attaining. Agata, gatana. That he will make you attain like this. Krishna can do this. That's why he is Krishna. So we have to develop that desire. I would like to understand the heart of Krishna. What is inside the heart of Krishna? Well, people may tell you, that is crazy. This is too elevated. Why do you want to think about such things? Because this is what our teachers, they tell us to do, no? The Mahajans, they are explaining us, we have to awaken these desires, this hope, very deep hope. Yes, I can attain something very beautiful, and I know how. It's just a question of time and sincerity. No? This is the recipe. You take time, you take Mahajana Yenagata Sapanta, and you take sincerity. The time, the process, and the sincerity. And it works. If you know a recipe, every time you make it, it works, no? You make a cookie, you know the recipe of cookie, every time you make it, more or less, it works. If your oven is okay. So the process is you follow in the footsteps of the great souls. Mahajana Yenagata Sapanta. What they are advising us, that you follow. And you be patient and you be sincere. And then it's just a question of time. It's already there. Very beautiful reality we can attain. Because once we understand the heart of Krishna, life becomes just, as Prabhupada would say, sublime. It's just sublime. And every day it becomes more amazing, because Krishna becomes more amazing every day. So even the heart of Krishna also becomes more amazing every day. And we will find unlimited love. It is not possible to attain unlimited love without accessing the heart of Krishna, because this is where that love is, how to say, stocked. This is where that love is emanating from. And just by chanting and listening to this beautiful bhāgavatam, as well as all the books of our Acharya, which are like decoration on Krishna's body. Bhagavatam is Krishna's body, but then, the deity is there, still we like to dress him every day. So the Vaishnavas, they like to decorate Krishna. So the same way, the Vaishnavas, although there is already the Bhagavatam, still they're writing many books in order to decorate Krishna, more in this way, in this way, in this way. So by hearing these beautiful katha, these beautiful topics, and by chanting the name of Krishna, this very exceptional mantra, so exceptional, Maha Mantra, that it can give us access to the most incredible thing ever. And then gradually, Prabhupada said, without at all difficulty, very easily you will revive. Especially in this age, there is a concession. This is a concession that has been given. Some gift, no? Prabhupada gave us that concession, that gift. You say, okay, take it. You just take it and apply it. Okay?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
In the beginning, when I came to class, you were speaking about sincerity. One should be sincere.
Yes.
And I remember Kuti Devi said there is a poor kind of people who cannot approach Krishna sincerely.
Yes.
Who they are?
If I remember when, a person who is very rich, a person who is very beautiful, a person who is very learned, and a person who has a very high birth, aristocratic birth.
They cannot approach Krishna with sincerity.
It's implied inside the words of Kunti Devi if they are attached to such things. Of course, it doesn't mean if somebody is very rich, he cannot attain Krishna. He cannot be sincere. Yes, he can if he is not attached to his wealth. But if he is attached to his wealth, then he cannot be really sincere. Like somebody who is very beautiful cannot approach God completely sincerely if that person is attached to his beauty. That's what it means. If somebody thinks, I have some beauty, or I have some wealth, or I am a very smart person, or I took birth in such family, then it's very difficult to approach God sincerely. Because to approach God sincerely, we have to feel that we are not great. We have to feel very great. We have to realize I'm not very great. And from that platform of realizing that we are not very great, sincerity can manifest. If we're thinking we're great, we can't be very sincere. Yes?
It's funny because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if we don't attain the goal of bhakti, we will be born in the next life with wealth, beauty, and a high birth and education. And these are signs of good karma. So we're given these things, but then we shouldn't be attached to them. So it's a test on them.
Yeah. So one who attained these four things, Why? Because he wanted it. That's it. Because whatever you think at the time of death, that you attain in your next life. So when Krishna said, if they are not successful in bhakti and they will attain this wealth, beauty, knowledge, and birth in a high family, because he was not successful because he wanted that also. And because he wanted that also, that's what he got. But Krishna says, who was more intelligent and who wanted to attain me, but was not fully successful, he will take birth in the family of my devotee. He doesn't say in that verse that he will be very beautiful or very rich. He says he will take birth in family, because that's what he wanted, and Krishna gives him. So what we got is what we wanted. We cannot accuse anybody else for that. Yes?
Thank you. So at the beginning, you spoke about perhaps say the two tower in New York, the World Trade Center, and that it was a bad idea that they decided to build another one, which I actually agree with you. And so another thing that hit me when you said that is that thing in France about Charlie Hebdo. Yeah. So I was wondering if it was stupid from them trying to mock Islam, if it was worth just because it's a joke and so we can joke on everybody in a way. So do you think it was intelligent from them to do this or not?
I would say that what they achieved, just giving the answer of it was very intelligent or not. They lost in the game, sorry to say. But they lost their life, they were killed. Because they were thinking, let us joke with anything. You know that story? Some French magazine, journal, newspaper, was called Charlie Hebdo. And they are making some, how we call this, sarcastic caricature. Yeah, everything they are turning they are making fun of it. And once they were making fun about Islam. But in Islam there are like in every religion some people who are a little bit fanatic and they don't like to make fun of them. So they warn them, don't do that anymore, no? A strong warning that was. But still they continued and they were killed. So he's asking, was it intelligent? I say, if they have been intelligent, they have to think first. How to say? Humor is not a bad thing, but it should not disrespect the other. We have to respect everybody's faith and everybody's, thought. That otherwise you will have bad results. And then if somebody is threatening you, and you know that person not very smart, when you are in front of somebody who is not very smart, because who is integrist, be him a Muslim or a Christian or what, he is not very smart, because integrism or fanaticism is a sign of small intelligence. He cannot really understand, that's why he's fanatic. That means he's not very smart. So when you meet somebody in the street which is very strong and not very smart, what you do? Do you make fun of him? No? You just pass by and you let him go. Because there is something more important to do in life than making fun of the big guy who is not so smart. If you are smart, you understand, better I save my time. So like that. They had to deal with some group of people who were not very smart, and they were powerful. And they wanted to challenge them. That's it. That means they are not very smart, sorry to say. And they lost in the game. They should have said, okay, let it be. No, actually, yes, Prabhupada said that it's easy to attain Krishna, and at the same time Krishna says, hardly one knows me. But, Prabhupada explained, for somebody who really wants to attain Krishna, Krishna is ready to give all help. But then Prabhupada writes, unfortunately most of the people, they don't want. That's the only problem. So it's easy if you want it. And if you are ready to sacrifice everything which will be required from you to sacrifice to get it, because that's the point. We should desire something, like I want to go there. We should be also ready that I will do everything which is required to go there, you know? If you want to go to Sherbrooke, how many miles from here is Sherbrooke? You don't know? Something. Because I have absolutely no idea, so please give me some idea. You must, huh? 2 hours. Yeah. If you're not ready to walk 2 hours, then the desire to go to Sherbrooke is not enough. You should have the desire to go to Sherbrooke, and you should also be ready to walk 2 hours. So we have the desire to attain that very beautiful goal that I want to understand Krishna and understand him as my best friend. But I should be also ready to do anything that will be required for that.
Okay, but if the devotees hear this long time, only by undivided devotional service we can attain Jaya. But then why we still desire so many things? And we endeavor to get what are we intelligent? What's wrong?
That's the problem. We're not so smart. Even though we hear always, even though we can even repeat it by heart, we don't live it as we should be living it. Because otherwise it would work. It's not the process is not working. It's not Prabhupada, what he told us is not working. It can only be our mistake, that we are not applying the process properly. It can only be this. Sorry to say, but if it's not, and I know it for me, the only lack is with us. That was one sentence of Guru Govinda Maharaj. He would always say this. The only lack is with us. So we have to accept it. And because when you accept that you are sick, that's the beginning of becoming cured. If we don't accept that we are sick, there is no chance. If you say to somebody you have this disease, he say, no, I'm okay. There is no chance that he will try to figure out how can I cure it. But when we understand I have this problem, then if we are smart, then we will try to figure out how can I solve this problem. How is it that it's not working with me? How is it that I don't have yet this full desire? Why?
We are not sincere.
Partially.
You know, and you still want something that is impeding progress. It means we are not sincere.
It means partially sincere. We cannot say that devotees are not sincere. They are sincere, but Guru Govinda Maharaj would say this. Their surrender is conditional, partial, and artificial. This partial and artificial. These 3 things we have to improve. Should become unconditional, total, and what do we say? Artificial, natural, genuine. That's the work we have to do in our hearts. Yeah, interesting, because he would say this. Our surrender is partial, yeah, conditional. We're surrendering on some condition, and artificial. We have to understand this too. Something, not fully. This is half, you know. He's not saying you're bad, he's saying it's partial. Partial means there is something good, no? It doesn't mean you're bad. There is something good, but you're keeping something in your back. No? That's the nature of the conditioned soul. He's keeping his back like this behind. No? And it cannot work. We have to drop the bag. You know, like Draupadi, she dropped everything. She took shelter of Krishna. Krishna came. Yes?
At the Vaishnava Sangha Festival last week near Śrīmad, there was a nice example given about desire and Krishna. And it was the idea that in Maya we are like drowning in a river. And our desires can be like a log that we hold on to get us to the side on the land. But it's foolish to carry the log that saved us once we are on the land. We should leave it at the shore and walk.
Yes, it's certainly foolish. Depending if you understand with that log I can make a deity of Jagannath. Yeah, it's true. Or you can employ the log for doing something.
May I have another question? Who want to end that class and who want to go Prashad?
I want to go Prashad.
Madre saying, tell me, it's late.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. And this one,
Is that clock slow?
and this one saying, no, let him stay. So I said, okay, let me ask him what he wants.
I want to take Prashad. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.